am back today with another video to share with you my 2022 Week in the Life album. So last year, I didn't do a walkthrough at the end of this project because I finished it sometime in the summer and I just wanted to be done with it for a while. And had intended to record a walkthrough before now, but here we are. So, Week in the Life documenting week for 2023 starts next week. And so I figured no time but the present to sort of get this video together. Actually, by the time this video goes live, documenting week will probably be happening already. So I worked in the 10x8 album last year. It was my first time, as many of you, doing Week in the Life in such a large size, and I enjoyed it, and it was a challenge. And I'll maybe talk through some of that as we go through, but let's dive in. So I used some of the kit. I don't think I got the main kit last year. Now, some of this is going to be hard to remember because I wasn't crazy about some of the cards. So I did a lot of making myself stuff, and then I used stuff from my stash. And I did buy some of the add-ons, but I did not work from the main kit. So here's my opening. Let me just make sure you guys can see everything. Yeah, okay. So on the inside cover, because it's such a large amount of space in a 10x8 album, it felt weird to like neglect it. And I'd been looking, I think it was Nellie and Clem, who did she did their initials, and our initials are the same. And so a lot of alphabets, like this chipboard alphabet, they didn't have two S's, which I would need. So I just repainted them. I colored them in with a Posca paint pen. These were the white ones from a few years ago. They may have been from Week in the Life, actually, from like 2017 or 18, maybe. Colored them in and just spelled out us. And then I used one of the plastic, this is one of those big plastic phrases from last year's collection, a couple of pieces from the ampersand kit, and then some mixed media that I made using jelly plates. So just a little hodgepodge of things that felt really appropriate for where we were at that point in time. Throughout the album, I have made jelly prints for different things. And so I just used those with a jelly plate and some paint, and had a lot of fun making those pieces and adding a little bit of artsiness to this album. Here using that what was brand new at the time, the 4x10 divided page protector. Love that. So family photo of us, just normal life every day on the couch together. Felt really appropriate for last year. Typed out the dates, and then some embellishments here. Oh, these stickers, these puffy stickers are really, really old. Felicity Jane, the big ones, and then Ellie Studio, smaller ones. On the back here, I used, this was one of the layered templates that came in the collection last year. So I did a highlight of each day. So just a little snippet about what the main thing that happened each day of the week. And then a little bit about like my reason why and sort of what's happening, setting the context for this week and who we are. Over here, I've used the 10x8 divided page, the plastic page protectors, acetate page protectors. Added the big stitched heart pocket. I did not use it as a pocket because the pocket to me felt backwards and weird. Like if you put things in here, you would cover up the day of the week, which was the part I wanted to see. So then I used the, this was one of the 3x4 stamp sets that was released as part of Week in the Life last year, with the little circle and then the things that go in the middle. So I have one of those every day, and then the date just printed on matte photo paper in black with a white font on there. And then on the back will be a photo for each day. I love that. Of our dog Ruby with the dandelion. So then each day starts with a big 10x8 photo inside the page protector. Here I'm using another one of those smaller large plastic phrases. Love this photo of me on a crafty Zoom with friends and working on a project. And then on the back, each day I used, I can't remember, this was a December daily template, I believe, that I modified. I think that's what happened. I think this was from December daily 2021. and I modified it. So I've got 12 photos here for every day that are just snippets, and then my timed journaling here. Then we go into a 6x8 photo, and I've got a little strip of some mixed media along the edge there to kind of create some continuity throughout the album. Many of my photos are time stamped. I love doing that. An Avery index tab on the end, and then inside is all of the journaling for that day. So in this year, what I did is I had these pieces from the, this is actually one that I made. Let me see if I can find what Tuesdays is. Yeah. So Tuesdays is then and now. So these were from the ampersand story kit. They just had like 2 prompts on them. So that's what I used for my story lens each day. So the first day was facts and feelings. So that's what all my journaling is here. Then on the back, I used this 2-up layered template from the collection last year that just had these like wonky ovals, which was super fun, or wonky rectangles really is what they are. And again, with that mixed media edge on the back there. And so these are just a couple of photos from the morning. Then here on the other side, I've got the 4x6 and 4x4 divided page protector, which I like that as well. We had these gold chipboard like days of the week last year, but I actually have a digital of these from 2017. And so I cut these on my Cricut. I bought some gold foiled cardstock and I just cut them myself because they were in the main kit and they were like the only thing that I liked in the main kit last year. So I didn't want to get the whole kit just for those. So I cut them myself and they turned out awesome. Then I made a gratitude card. This is just a piece of cardstock that I stamped using some Carrie Bradford stamps along the top to hold my gratitude every day. If you've been around a little while and you've watched my Week in the Life videos, you know that every year I take this same photo heading out the door. Maybe next week while I am Week in the Life 2023 documenting week is happening next week. So maybe it'll be fun to take a photo of all of these photos together. That might be fun. So I may do that. But this is the one for next year. Ruby and I heading out the door. Love to see that repetition every year. And then on the back of that, because it was just like plain cardstock on the back, I just repeat stamped the day of the week for that. At this point in time, our friend Darius was living with us, so you'll see him throughout the album as well, which was definitely a unique season of our life. And so a lot of my words and things are about just what was going on with that and how that was. I used the big 4x10 journaling cards these were an add-on, I believe, last year as well. Added a little bit of a word phrase strip and just some morning, afternoon, evening journaling each day. On the back, I've got my weather photo. This is something I've done for the last couple of years, is take a photo of the sky and the neighborhood sort of out our front window. And so this is what it looked like. And then I created a little template of my own to add in the high and low temperature and an icon for the weather. I think I want to do something like that similar this year. And then down here at the bottom is either another photo or some days I did a layered template. This was a layered template that I made. I think I adapted something. I think it had something different here and I just replaced it with different text. So snippets throughout the day. Then we get into some more mixed media. And so this is what I used the big plastic phrases for. I loved these so much last year. So I bought those as an add-on and I used those to capture details and use those as a photo lens. So then inside you flip this open and this is just deli paper on the outside. And so this is just attached to that. And then here I have a little bit of snippet journaling because I didn't have enough photos, but these are just details from around the house. So what does the laundry look like? Little everyday things, my breakfast waiting for me in the microwave, our coat rack. Just what is happening around our house. And then on the back is another full page photo. And then my basics of daily life here. So this is my morning routine. Every day I did a different one. And I loved this template. It was so fun. I had to tweak things a little bit and move numbers around sometimes and whatnot, but these are sort of my morning routine pieces. Like, what do I do with, and I'm talking a little bit snippet journaling about each one of those. So those are a fun template. And then ending with a full page photo on the back and using the little puffy, these aren't rubber, but they're like puffy pieces, puffy circles. All right, and so here we move into Tuesday. Again, the heart on the front with the date. Oh, that needs to be secured a little more. Photo on the back, family photo here from the evening, full page. Our stuff on the back, some screenshots about news highlights. I took my mom for an appointment for her follow-up for her knee surgery. Timed journaling here, 6x8 photo. This was a template too. I didn't realize that on the first one, but it has the day of the week on the bottom there. That was one of the 6x8 templates from last year, or 10x8, and I resized it. I can't remember. Ruby girl sleeping in her spot. Then and now was my story lens for the day. 2 photos from throughout our day. Gratitude. More photos in the car. Set it up. Use your, I love my Apple Watch for being able to just easily take photos. So here I just set my phone up on the dash while I was parked outside my mom's house, and took a picture. Capturing pictures, asking my husband to capture pictures of himself. These are all photos that he took. So that's great too. That's helpful to have him involved. Food, right? That's a big part of our week. So talking about meal prepping and things I was cooking. Again, morning, afternoon, evening highlights, photo of all of us together. I have one of those, I think, for most days. They were nice to fit in this format. So again, I'm just setting my phone up on our entertainment center and using my Apple Watch to take some shots so that I can get into the photo as well. Here I used the in the news, and just did, what are these? Front pages from the Front Page app, front page screenshots. I think they're all from the same day. No, they're from throughout the week. So they were just headlines just to show what was happening in the world at this point in time. My weather photo. Today's photo prompt was current routine. So it was taking pictures of what our morning routine, what my morning routine looks like, what our afternoon and evening routine looks like. Photo with a friend Blast from the Past friend. We had dinner together. That was so fun. Today's basics of daily life were in the kitchen, so different things that I use every day in the kitchen. Me making muffins as my full page photo to end out the day, and then moving on to Wednesday. Fun picture of me dancing by myself. Again, just setting up my camera and taking the photo. Use the self timer. If you don't have an Apple Watch, you can use your self timer. Tripod is your best friend this week, as we get ready for documenting week. Sneaking down to take a photo of my hubby playing his online game with friends. Wednesday snippets of everyday life. There's some screenshots mixed in here. This was May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day, which is a big deal for us around here usually. Breakfast and reading Harry Potter for the very first time. So moving through those beautiful illustrated books. Love this photo. This was taken out of the car window. So the windshield had raindrops on it from an afternoon shower that we had. Little bit of snippet journaling where I needed it. Gratitude again. I took this photo. This is a fun one. Let me pull this out actually, because I think this is cool. I may do this again, but as a big photo this year. So I sat my phone, because my phone is the only camera that I use. So I sat my iPhone up on the edges of my fan, my ceiling fan in my room here, and used my Apple Watch to trigger it, hoping to goodness that it didn't fall off. I probably could have used a rubber band if I had one, or like some string. Sorry, I'm looking up trying to figure out how to do it this year, but that was super fun to capture and sort of get like not only me, but like sort of my desk set up in the photo as well. So get creative with your camera positioning. Work life. So this is all going to be photos and a little bit of journaling here about what work looks like for us right now. And full page photo on the back. Again, more snippet, you know, a sort of wide view. And I love, it's busy, right? It's busy, but it shows what our house looks like. I loved getting more of the environment in my photos this year. And that's something that I felt like, because I was working in a bigger size, it allowed me to sort of zoom out a little bit and get out of the details and show you some of the clutter and the messes and just the everyday stuff that happens in our house, all the wall art that's hanging up, which means so much to me, right? It's all very intentional and it means something. That's why it's hanging on our walls. So it was just fun to capture that in a different way than the years where I've used 4x6 and 6x8 and 3x4 photos. Like I felt like I had more space that I needed to explore this year. Back to the big love for this with the 3 photos, just 3 photos of Ruby that day. My work essentials. These are my work essentials. Again, those flat lays were really fun. And actually the secret to these flat lays is like, I did this all after documenting week. It's pretty much the same as what I did during the week. I just didn't have time to set up the photo and take them. So I did them all after that, knowing that I wanted to use them in those templates. Again, an environment capture, right? This is using the wide angle lens on my camera or on my phone, so you can see all of the art, the TV. We're all sort of watching and eating lunch, and you can see what's happening on this back wall. You get the whole room in one photo, which is kind of fun and different. Moving into Thursday, our girls snuggled in bed. My husband and I were teaching an online class for local university that we teach for. And so I wanted to capture that. Again, just set up the tripod and used my watch to trigger the shutter to take the photo. Here, I didn't have as many photos. It's getting into Thursday, right? That all happens to all of us, I'm sure. So I just replaced 2 of the rows of 2x2s with 1 bigger photo to make up for that. No problem with that. Timed journaling again, another 6x8 insert. Beauty and mess were my things for, or my story lens for Thursday. Gratitude, in the car pictures, back at home pictures. We weren't doing a ton, right? Like kind of spending our evenings mostly at home, playing video games, watching movies together, like just being together in that way without a bunch of stuff to do. A photo of us in bed. I take this by setting, we have, our bathroom is sort of like across, like on the opposite wall from this. And so we have a door there. So I just set my phone on the door handle and use my watch to take the photo. And I have one of those in almost every one of my albums. So it's one I've been taking a lot. Here we all are on the couch. Again, my weather photo. Today's photo lens was celebrating. So, oh, and that was the other thing about these. These are not from the day. So any of these photos that fall into these broader categories are from throughout the entire week. Because guess what? It doesn't matter whether it happened on this day or it happened on Monday or it happened in this week. So these are all things I'm celebrating this week. And just like this is all, is it this one? Yeah, these work photos are from the week. They're not just from one day. They're not just from Wednesday. So that's important to point out. photo of me reading with breakfast, very typical. For this Basics of Daily Life, I did Ruby's Essentials, so Ruby's everyday items that she uses, right? So special toys and the treats that she likes and the tools that we use with her. This is me in a virtual therapy appointment, so I wanted to capture that. It's a big part of my story then and now. I love photos of us in the car. We spend a lot of time in the car together, so this was such a good one. This is one of my all-time favorites. So more snippets of our day, timed journaling, Ruby out on the deck in the rain. This girl loves being outside, and come spring, she's like wanting to be on the deck every day, even when it rains. She did not care. Highs and lows, had a little bit of extra space. I didn't do as much journaling on this day, so put it in one of those other big word phrases. These I did sort of low down, like this is my camera like on the floor in my room to sort of, again, zoom out, showing the environment. That definitely is a theme I'm noticing as I'm going through these pictures. Showing more than just the subject, right? That the environment becomes some sort of the subject. Feeling very inspired by that. In addition to the close-ups, right? It's a nice mix. Love this photo. So this is a photo that I took by setting my phone up on the tripod, probably on top of the dog crate. It's in this back corner. And so I was able to capture sort of the whole living area of our first floor of our house, which is just, I'm so glad I have that. Rainy day, almost always a rainy day during Week in the Life for me around here. Things we were watching, so these are all mostly screenshots. Sean watching ukulele videos, me watching student projects, online class I was taking, and then shows and movies. Putting away, loading the dishwasher. This is a photo I take almost every year, some version of this with my phone set up on the floor, looking up Sean's essentials. So, you know, his work stuff, some of his personal items that he keeps with him all the time. Taco Bell late night delivery. You can see that's 10:23, so definitely enjoying a little fourth meal. Saturday on a late Friday night of video gaming. I know that's what was happening. Saturday was another rainy, yucky day, so a full page photo. This is out the window, probably out of our front window on the main floor. Sometimes I take them from up here in my craft room, but I think this is from down there of Sean walking with Ruby. More snippets of the day. Sean and Darius working together on a project. My journaling prompt for this day was this and that, which is kind of just a catch-all for everything. Again, zooming out for the environment, zooming in for connection and relationships. I want to remember that this year. Zoom out to capture the environment, zoom in to document the connection and relationships. A little Zoom screenshot, right? Think about the way you interact with your people, and how can you include that as well. So here I've got not just the screenshot of us all working together that we all could use in our Week in Life album, but here I've got a wider photo of like, this is what I'm working on my computer, and I've got my Zoom set up on my iPad over here. Again, trying to get yourself in. Where can you set up your phone? This is set up on like a dresser that we have in our kitchen that we use for storage, with the tripod, and using my Apple Watch. Since there are only 2 humans and a dog in our family, I have to get in the pictures. Otherwise, it would just be an album of my husband, and he would think that was really weird. So I've figuring out ways that I can put myself in there and not just look through the lens. Playtime was Saturday's sort of collection of photos. So talking about the different ways we play, things we're playing with, realizing that there's a lot of play that happens in our house every day. And that feels really good. And then a screenshot or a photo of me reading on the couch. My craft essentials. This was a super fun one to do. So yeah, just like, what do I use most? What are my most used tools, and sort of telling a little bit of story about them. I love that. Crafting is such a big part of my life. Another screenshot, a different screenshot, right? This is, or sorry, photo. This is different photo than the other two photos that I have. I spent the day on Zoom. I think it was, maybe it was National Scrapbooking Day or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So, you know, it was a Zoom day. It was a crafty Zoom day. And so that's how I spent my day. I needed to document it that way. Moving into Sunday, us playing ukulele together. We went to the movies. I believe this was our first trip back to the movie theater after the pandemic, or since the pandemic started, was to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. So that was a big deal. Yeah, here I have, like, Sunday was all about going to the movies. So I just used this space to sort of collage the photos, because it's Sunday, it's the last day. I didn't take many photos. We didn't do many things. It says here we didn't even get up until around 11:30. So it was a short day, big deal going to the movies. Love this photo of Ruby looking out the window. That's her spot at the window there. Gratitude and joy. Again, I had very little journaling, so I put in a photo at the bottom. Zooming in for relationships and connections. Again, didn't have enough photos, so I just used one of those from the digitals and put that in. Snippet journaling, a photo of myself working on the couch. Us playing video games, which was huge. We were in a huge season of playing video games. Home life, so these are all photos of what home life looks like around here this week. Closing out with routines, right? Taking the trash out on Sunday night because our pickup is Monday. And then for the last page here, I was lucky enough to be part of a couple of the Week in the Life events that Kristen Tweedale did over on her podcast, Crafty Ass Female. And so, and then, also live chats on Instagram. So I did some screenshots of the different pieces and parts and components, and did a little bit of journaling about that, because it didn't happen during this week, but it was related to this project. So I think that's a super fun way to have that included as well. And then I like to end my album with a photo of us in bed on Sunday night. And so here we are, going to sleep. So that is 2022 Week in the Life. Nice, massive album. It was a challenge going through it. Kind of a difficult season of life around here. So I didn't find as much joy in the project throughout the week, throughout the documenting week. And then working in a new format felt kind of weird. So it just didn't feel great, but now I'm looking back on it, I'm so glad I have every one of these pictures and every one of these words, and it's not perfect, and that's okay. But I'm so glad I documented it, because it's important to tell all the stories, even if they don't feel good when you're doing it in the moment. So hopefully there's some good reminders in there as you're getting ready to go into documenting week, or as you're already in documenting week. And yeah, I hope you had fun taking a look at this. If you're doing 10 by 8 this year, I hope you have found some inspiration, and yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.